Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at Noon.
Saying farewell to a Florida State University legend. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Angel.
I'm Kelly Bartoli. Tommy Wright laid to rest just about services beginning just less than an hour ago. Now, Wright, as many of us know, he worked at Florida State University for nearly 6 decades. Yeah,
he taught music beginning in 1949 until 2008. He composed the FSU fight song that can certainly still be heard at many events throughout Florida State University. His silhouette also served as inspiration for the university's former Seminole Head logo. We're going to have much more on the life and work of Thomas Wright coming up beginning tonight on WTXL ABC 27 News at 5. A street in Tallahassee has now been renamed after a Tallahassee police officer killed in the line of duty after Sergeant Daniel Dale Green. This is a picture here of the new sign. It's located along the roadway of Lake Ella Drive and DeSoto Street, renamed this morning during a public ceremony. You may remember Sergeant Green. He was shot and killed back in 2002 while responding to a home invasion robbery. Sergeant Green served with the Tallahassee Police Department for 13 years.
Tallahassee police still investigating an attempted home invasion and shooting. It all happened yesterday afternoon at the Point at Adams place. Witnesses told police a few guys tried to break into a unit there and shots were fired. One suspect was arrested at that scene. The other was arrested later in the afternoon. Police say charges are soon expected to be filed.
Bogus tax returns and not registering as a sex offender has landed a former Tallahassee man in federal prison. 33-year-old Jerry Samuel Joseph was sentenced to nearly 7 years in prison. This is for 5 charges of filing fraudulent tax returns and 1 count of not registering as a sex offender. Investigators say part of his scam, Joseph used stolen IDs to defraud the government with fake tax returns. And get this, apparently the scam got him about $135,000 in cash.
Well, taking a look at news across Florida now, a woman who has become one of the faces for the Stand Your Ground law here in Florida, making her way back into the news today. In Tampa, a courtroom hearing this morning for a woman who wants another Stand Your Ground hearing. Now, 33-year-old Marissa Alexander, she's out on bond while awaiting a new trial on charges of firing a gun at her estranged husband and his 2 children. She was previously convicted of 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and sentenced to 20 years in prison. That conviction, though, was thrown out on appeal. This will be the second time Alexander seeks immunity from prosecution under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Now, a judge didn't make a decision yet on that potential second hearing. Her trial, meanwhile, scheduled to begin July 28th. Tampa mom Julie Schnechter has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of her 2 kids. In January 2011, she shot her 13-year-old son and 16-year-old daughter in the head. The defense was seeking a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity, arguing that she's bipolar and wasn't aware of what she was doing at the time. In court, Schnechter apologized for killing her children and said she knows they are in heaven. Governor Rick Scott is promising to release his tax returns and hand over any financial details required by the courts. Scott's announcement comes after a lawsuit was filed challenging the year-old state law that lets elected officials place their assets in a blind trust instead of reporting each investment to the public. The Florida Supreme Court has been asked to make a decision on the law before candidates begin qualifying for ballots next month. Governor Scott is currently the only elected official in Florida using a blind trust.
Other news here this noon, while the state waits on Governor Scott's release, unemployment numbers are out, the rate remaining relatively flat. The state's jobless rate for April was 6.2%. That's a slight dip from March when the rate actually went up. But that means the unemployment rate has been the same for most of this year so far. While Florida is gaining 34,000 jobs last month, 599,000 people still remain without a job. Economists say the numbers could mean that people are beginning to look for work again. Well, tourism in the Sunshine State is breaking an all-time record.
So far already this year, more than 26.7 million people have come to Florida. These numbers, according to Visit Florida, the state's official tourism marketing agency, it's a 2% growth from the same time the year before. State leaders are optimistic about the numbers and their impact on reaching the overall goal of breaking an all-time record. That's having 100 million visitors in Florida by the end of 2014.
Well, other news here at noon, state leaders, by the way, say it's also good news if you're looking for a job. We've got more details up on our website, WTXL.tv. Some other news here this noon.
Yeah, we certainly know all about this. Recent rains causing flooding in parts of our area, including Suwannee County.
Yeah, Live Oak reporting heavy rain and receiving about 4 inches in just a 24-hour period. Also flooding and widespread road closures in the area due to floodwaters. Emergency manager in Branford reporting flooding and closed several roads because of the standing water there.
The water even reaching a picnic table in the Ivy Memorial Park. And in O'Brien, the emergency manager also reported flooding as water crossed the road with a large hole forming that could be a sinkhole.
Certainly don't want any more rain to escalate any of the problems.
No, we definitely need to dry out, and hopefully, I think, Michelle, you have something good in store for us for this weekend, just in time for a beautiful Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I do, and you're mentioning that water. Highway 19 yesterday had over 6 inches of water across one lane. So yeah, there were a lot of flash flood reports and a lot of storm damage reports that came in from the rainfall that moved through. But now we are drying out. Things are looking up. Look at that. Nothing but sunshine all the way from Tallahassee, Thomasville to Valdosta over there. Now, a tad cooler there, still in the upper 60s across Thomasville, 74 there for Valdosta and also for Tallahassee there. Radar and satellite showing you we're clear across the region. Good news all around there. No rain in the forecast for today and throughout the remainder even as we head into the evening. 75 degrees around Apalachicola, 74 there in the capital city. Still seeing some 60s across the board there in South Georgia from Moultrie and Thomasville, 68 over there in Live Oak and Valdosta, like I mentioned. You're warming up too, and we still have a ways to go for today. Some places expected to hit around 80 degrees, others just up there in the upper 70s, so we will still be below average, and especially as we have the clear skies for tonight, all of that heat that we do get here during the day, that's going to go right back up there into the atmosphere. So that means a cooler night in store for us. If you're heading out later, grab the jacket. Temperatures are dropping to around 50 degrees, but there's a warming trend in the forecast, and I'll give you all the details coming up in just a few minutes. Guys?
All right, Michelle, thank you much. A lot of controversy here this noon. Story many of you guys weighing in online. A New Hampshire police officer refusing to apologize for calling the president the N-word.
Yeah, this is even after angry residents calling for his resignation. Still not. 82-year-old Robert Copeland acknowledging he made the comment in an email. Now, he says he's not going to apologize because he believes Obama meets and exceeds the criteria for such.
Now, this is all taking place in the town of Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Now, there's 6,300 residents who live there. Only 20 of them are black. More than 100 people attended the meeting pushing for Copeland to resign. And of course, we're asking people, what do they think about it? And a lot of people kind of weighing in. Certainly a hot topic still. Again, you can check out the story. We've got a post for you a quick way right there on our website, WTXL.tv, and of course on our Facebook and our Twitter page. A lot more to get to here this noon. It's the end of an era for legendary journalist Barbara Walters. How the View sent her off in style.
Plus, a new twist in the California wildfires. Police now think the brush fires may have been set intentionally.
And could health insurance soon take more out of your pockets? We're going to tell you how reference pricing and what it could mean for you. Talking your health this noon, you may want to pay closer attention to healthcare talk. It could take thousands of dollars out of your pockets.
The Obama administration now giving the go-ahead for reference pricing. It lets insurers and employers put a dollar limit on what health plans pay for some procedures, including knee and hip replacements. Some are worried it could leave patients with higher bills to pay out of pocket, dissing financial protections in the new health law.
Well, the decision affects most job-based plans as well as the new insurance exchanges. Experts say it's going to help check rising premiums. Concern from the Federal Drug Administration now has officials cutting the dosage of popular sleep aid Lunesta. The recommended dosage has now been cut in half. Data shows that a person may be less alert and may drive less safely the day after taking it. That dosage is now 1 milligram as opposed to 2 milligrams. The potentially deadly MERS virus continues to spread.
So far, 2 cases have been confirmed in the U.S., one in Florida, another in Indiana. Now, health officials say they found another case in the Netherlands. The Centers for Disease Control issuing warnings about the virus, putting up signs in airports to inform anyone traveling to and from the Middle East about the potential health risks.
Now, MERS attacks the respiratory system, and symptoms can lead to pneumonia or kidney failure, but doctors with the National Institute of Health say so far there's no reason to panic.
There does not appear to be any indication that it's mutated or developing the capability of spreading more easily in a broader way through the community. But we still need to stay very, very heads up for that possibility.
The World Health Organization says there have been more than 570 confirmed cases of MERS, including 171 deaths, mainly in the Middle East. A new study suggests that those who were bullies when they were younger may grow up to be healthier adults. Turns out people who were bullies showed lower levels of something called C-reactive protein, which could mean a reduced risk of cancer and heart disease.
Researchers say this shows the powerful role of social status and bullying, but by no means are they pushing for children to become bullies.
Yeah, Kelly, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen, okay?
It's his favorite catchphrase.
Oh, look at that. I can already feel my health going there. Well, new information this noon regarding former Clippers owner Donald Sterling. He is now refusing to pay his fine.
Yeah, he's even sent a letter to the National Basketball Association telling the league he's not going to pay that $2.5 million fine and rejecting his lifetime ban. Sports Illustrated and USA Today are citing unnamed sources who they say the letter also threatens a lawsuit if Sterling's punishment is not revoked.
Now, if you remember, Sterling was accused of being a racist after questionable comments he made in audio leaked to the public. He's since made matters a little worse by verbally attacking Magic Johnson and additional comments in several interviews. Dick Parsons was announced as his replacement. Sterling has since hired some attorneys.
Looking internationally now, it's been 3 days since the Turkey mine explosion. 18 miners are reportedly still trapped below ground.
Death toll now standing at 284. Previous estimates had put the number of missing miners at more than 100. What started off as a rescue mission has now turned into a recovery effort.
Officials are now saying the explosion was started by an electrical problem. Autopsies showed the miners died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Meanwhile, families have been outraged by the Prime Minister's response to the incident. Pictures can be seen of him actually kicking a protester. Other news this noon, Russian state media reporting that a space rocket launch failed today, destroying the booster and its payload. According to Russian news, officials on the ground lost contact with the rocket 9 minutes after it lifted off from Kazakhstan. The rocket was supposed to carry a communication satellite into orbit. It was about 100 miles high when it burned up in the atmosphere. This is now the second time within a year that a Proton rocket has been destroyed after liftoff.
A cafe in Japan has a creative anti-loneliness concept that recently went viral. The Moomin House Cafe seats lone customers with stuffed animal companions called Moomins. They are a family of white hippo-like creatures created by a Finnish illustrator. There are now 3 Moomin cafes located in Japan.
Could you imagine that? Having soup with a little stuffed bear or something like that?
Don't you think that's just going to draw more attention to yourself if just sit the lone customers with other lone customers?
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to be alone. Sometimes you need a break.
But I guess if they're quiet and they're just going to listen to what you have to say, you know.
I'm going to buy one for you.
Okay, there you go. Going to sit it right here next to us since Michelle likes to spend all of her time over in the Weather Center tracking a lot of beautiful weather for the weekend, Michelle.
That's right, yeah. It'd be kind of interesting to sit at the restaurant with somebody like that. Or stuffed animal, not somebody. I don't know. But I do know.
You'd still be talking to it.
Yeah. I don't know about talking to myself, but I can talk to you guys about the weather. I'm pretty good at that because we have nothing but sunshine on our hands, and that just brings a smile to my face because we get to have it throughout the entire weekend. Let's go ahead and take a look and break down your Friday QuickCast for you, getting to 79 degrees by 5 o'clock. Some places may even hit 80 degrees there. 10 o'clock, we're still looking at mild temperatures, 65 degrees, dry all the way through the evening, but a cool night as we drop down to 50 degrees. So grab the jacket if you're heading out later.